we have been considered here two different classes, class A and class B. Then class C is going to inherit some member functions or variables from both these classes. Okay, so that's why I have been mentioned here class as a, and this particular class is going to consider particular single variable of integer type, and the specifier of this variable is protected. And we have considered one more method inside this class as a get A. He is going to accept some value. Okay, the type of that particular value is integer, because we are going to assign that particular value to this particular A variable. Okay, similarly inside the class B, again we are going to accept another value, and again we are going to assign it to B. Okay, next this particular line represent the actual multiple inheritance, means class C is going to derive both this, or he is going to inherit data from both these classes. Okay, so here inside this class we will use the method as a display, and inside that we will display we are going to display that particular A variable and B variable. So first one, just display the value of A is A, then just display the second value, the value of B is the B. Next, suppose again here in this case we want to perform the addition of both the numbers, addition of both A and B. So here again we are going to perform that addition. After this, use /n or endl function to use the next line. Okay, so this is related with class C. Okay, so what it will do, he is going to accept both the variables from the class A and class B, and he is going to perform the addition of both the variables inside the class C. Okay, so from class A he is going to inherit this particular A variable, and from class B he is going to inherit the second variable B, and he is going to perform the addition of both the variables. Okay, then call this particular function which is available. Yes, then how you are going to call this particular class?
Create the object of C.
For which class we are going to create the object?
Class C.
For class C. Okay, we will consider as a small c. Then how we are going to provide the integer value to this particular class A? Okay, we have to call this particular function get A function, and we have to pass this particular value, integer value. How we are going to perform this task? Yes, can anyone? How we are going to call that particular function? With the help of
C dot get A in bracket the value of n.
The value of n. Okay, we will pass as a 10. Then again call this particular function which is available inside the class B. Okay, that is called as get B 20. Next, then call this particular
C dot display.
Call that particular method display. He will display the addition of both these numbers, and then use that last line, return 0. Okay, n has not been declared. What is that error? We have not mentioned here the type of that n variable, so that's why he is going to return that particular error. Now check, the value of a is 10, the value of b is 20, and the addition of both a and b is 30. So with respect to this object, C object, we have called this particular get a method, which is available inside this class A. Okay, and we are going to transfer, or we are going to pass this particular 10 value that to that particular n variable, and that particular value is assigned to this a variable. Okay, similarly with the help of C object, we are going to call this particular get B function, which is available inside the class B, and we are going to initialize this 20 value to this particular B variable. And the finally we are going to call this a display function, which is available inside itself the class C, with the help of that C object, and here he is going to perform the addition of both the members. Okay, 10 plus 20 is the 30. So this is related with multiple inheritance. Okay, guys, clear how it works, multiple inheritance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, means from the derived class we are going to access both the members, those are available inside the base classes. Okay, so this is the task, this is the concept behind this particular multiple inheritance. Okay, is there any error or is there any ambiguity with respect to this multiple inheritance? Yes, is there any chance to create a runtime ambiguity? Yes, is there any chance? Okay, first of all I will just tell you, I will just tell you that what is meant by ambiguity. Okay, ambiguity means what? The meaning of that particular function or the line is not clear with respect to that compiler. So compiler is going just confuse which particular function he is going to compile for that particular line. So for that particular purpose, multiple inheritance is going to generate the ambiguity. Okay, so I will just show you with the help of again one more example how it will just create the ambiguity. Okay, suppose similar, this is class A, and this particular class A is having display function, and that's it. Okay, next one, this is class B, and again class B is also having the same function name, display, but they are performing different tasks. Okay, next use the class C, and this particular class C is going to inherit both these classes, and again he is going to perform different operations. And my question is that if suppose we will create the object of that particular C class here inside the main, and we will call this particular function display, so which function is available for this particular line, or which particular function is executed for this particular line? Yes, you got my question? Yes, Rutvik, you got my question?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it will display error.
Why it will display the error?
Because there are two functions with the same name, so compiler will not understand which it has to use.
So compiler just display the error is in the form of ambiguity, means which function or which display function is going to be execute. Okay, because class C is going to inherit both these classes, and both these classes having the same function name display. Okay, so that's why in case of multiple inheritance, he will just create the ambiguity if suppose the function name is same in both the classes. Okay, so this is the drawback behind the multiple inheritance. Okay, clear? What is the drawback behind multiple inheritance? Yes, Rahul, Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Because when you are going to create the object of this C, because class C is going to inherit both these classes, so that's why the ambiguity is generated. So this is the drawback behind the multiple inheritance. Okay, so in the inheritance, we have discussed or we have implemented three different inheritances. First one is the single, second one is the multi-level, third one is the multiple. Next one is the hybrid and the hierarchical. Okay, so we will just implement both these types in the next chapter. So we will move towards next point with respect to introductory part is the polymorphism. So what is meant by polymorphism? Is polymorphism is again one more important concept which is available inside the OOP. So polymorphism is nothing but the ability to take more than one forms. Means he will just accept or he is doing different operations for the same function name. So polymorphism is related with two different parts. I will just write here. Okay, so polymorphism is basically is related with functions. It's called as function overloading, and second one is called as operator overloading. Means in case of function overloading, we can use the same function name inside the class, but it will accept different parameters. So this particular concept is called as function overloading. Okay, function names are same, but the length of the arguments or whatever the arguments which we are going to pass to that particular function is different. This particular concept is called as function overloading. So this particular function overloading belong from that particular polymorphism. And in case of operator overloading, it will just perform, okay, it will just perform the different operations with respect to operators. Suppose here we have been considered as a plus and minus operators. So again he will add one more plus and one more minus with respect to that particular function. So he will change its original functionality. So what is the meaning of plus plus? Yes, can anyone? Or what is the meaning of minus minus?
Plus plus means
Plus one.
increment by 1.
Yes, plus plus means, okay,
Increment.
I will mention it as a I plus plus. So I plus plus is nothing but I plus
I plus one.
I plus 1, and instead of this plus plus I will just mark it as a plus. So what is the meaning of this plus? To perform this particular
Addition.
addition. So to perform this particular operation, compiler require either two different operators, or the meaning of that plus is nothing but unary operator. Okay, we will consider as a plus 5. What is the meaning of this? So this particular operand is of positive category, or it belongs from positive category. So this is the one kind of meaning, and second one is the this one, addition. Okay, so when we are using this operator overloading, again we are going to add one more operator with respect to original, so he will directly change its functionality. So polymorphism is nothing but ability, yes, polymorphism means ability to take more than one forms. Similarly, so for that particular purpose, two different types are there. First one, polymorphism is belong from function overloading, and second one, polymorphism, it belongs from operator overloading. Yes, clear Zala? Okay, so in case of operator overloading, the process of making an operator to exhibit different behaviors in different instances is known as operator overloading. Okay, means the plus operator is nothing but unary operator. Okay, again we will add one more plus operator. So he will again he will change its functionality. So he will again increment that particular operand. So similarly with respect to function, using a single function name to perform the different type of task is known as function overloading. Okay, suppose I will just consider it as a class as a, or before that, okay, just I will show you directly with the help of demonstration how function overloading works. Okay, I will just comment out this code for your purpose. And I will write here hash include iostream. Next one is the using namespace as the standard. Next, just class A, and inside that class A we are using two different variables, or as per our requirement we will increase all these variables. Okay, here we are going to consider as a public access specifier. Then we will use the first function is of add type, and he will just accept the single variable as an integer n, or it will accept, okay, two different variables n comma m, and here inside this he is going to perform the addition of both these n and m, and he will display the result. See out addition of two numbers, and he will perform the addition a plus b. I will use the slash n symbol here. Next, again inside this class, again we will use, or we will add the one more function with the same name, but in that we are using the three different variables. Means here in this case we are going to overload this particular function, because first add function is going to accept two different variables, and this particular add function is going to accept three different variables. Means the name of this function is same, but he is going to accept different parameters. Addition of three numbers, then perform that addition a, b and c, or instead of a, b, c, directly just n, m and k. Similarly here in this example, just consider as a n plus m. Now call this particular function. So for that particular purpose, again we have to create the object of that class. How you are going to call this particular function? Yes, how you are going to perform this addition?
A dot
A
add
dot.
and two parameters.
First one is the a dot add, and we have to pass two different variables.
Two parameters.
So this one is related with first add, and second one a dot again add. In this case,
and three variables.
We have to pass three different variables. So just look at this. With the help of a object, we are going to call the add function, and again in the second line, again with the help of same object, we are going to call the means add function, but the functionality of both these function is different, because first function is going to accept two different variables, and the second function is going to accept three different variables. Okay, so let's execute this particular code. So look at this. So addition of two number is 30. So this particular addition, it belongs from this particular function, and addition of three numbers, this particular line is belong from this particular function. So this particular example is belong from function overloading. Okay, so function overloading is nothing but function overloading is nothing but the same function name, but it perform or he will accept the different parameters, and once he will accept the different parameters, then he will perform the different task. So this is called as function overloading. Okay, so these are belong from this polymorphism. We have to perform these examples briefly in the second unit. Okay, we are going to perform all these examples. Okay, next one is related with message passing. Again, one more feature is related with OOP. So an object oriented program consists of a set of objects that communicate with each other. Okay, so to communicate with respect to classes, we have to first of all create the object of that particular class, and with the help of that particular object we are going to access the members and functions of that particular class. So by default that particular object is going to communicate with each other. Okay, so the process of performing in an object oriented language involves the following basic steps. So first of all, create the class that define the object and its behavior. Second one, create the object from that particular definition. And third one, establish the communication among that object. So first of all, with respect to this message passing, first of all we have to create, by default is the class. So inside that class just mention its behavior. Behavior is nothing but just define different methods. Then second one, create the object for that particular class. And third one, once object is created, then call the different functions with the help of that particular object. So once object is going to call all these functions, so this particular concept is nothing but message passing. Okay, so with the help of this object we are going to transfer data between different functions. Okay, so this particular feature is available again inside the OOP, and this is possible with the help of only object. Okay, so a message for an object is a request to execute that particular procedure, and therefore it will invoke or it will